This story isn't just a narrative. It's a blazing beacon of human resilience, a call to break free from despair and soar above life's fiercest challenges. Meet Caleb Harper, a 35-year-old welder from Boise, Idaho, whose world collapsed under the weight of a cancer diagnosis and a devastating betrayal. Only for him to rise with unshakable determination, strategic brilliance, and a renewed zest for life. Through Caleb's journey, you'll discover the transformative power of self-belief, the strength found in community, and the courage to rebuild from ashes. Let this tale seize your heart, dismantle your doubts, and ignite a fire to chase your own unstoppable destiny. Caleb Harper was a man forged in the fires of hard work, his hands scarred and strong from years of welding steel in Boise's industrial sprawl. At 35, he'd carved out a life of quiet pride, a cozy ranch-style home on a half-acre lot, a gleaming 1968 Ford Mustang he'd painstakingly restored, and a marriage to his college sweetheart, Natalie. They'd married in 2016, their wedding a vibrant celebration of love under Idaho's starlit summer sky, filled with country ballads and shared dreams. Caleb adored Natalie's infectious laugh, her knack for sketching wildflower fields, and her once fervent plan to open an art studio where she'd teach kids to paint. But by 2025, the warmth had faded. Natalie's gaze drifted westward, her conversations peppered with dreams of Seattle's urban pulse, a life that Caleb's steady paycheck couldn't sustain. He dismissed the tension, trusting love would hold them together. Then came the blow that changed everything. In February of 2025, Caleb sat in a stark Boise clinic, the doctor's voice steady but grave. Stage 2 Hodgkin lymphoma, treatable but requiring immediate, aggressive action. The cancer was a formidable foe, but with chemotherapy and resolve, Caleb's prognosis was hopeful 80% chance of remission if he fought hard. He left the clinic with a plan: scale back his hours at the welding shop, dip into their $45,000 in savings, and lean on Natalie for emotional support. That evening, he shared the news over dinner, expecting her to rally by his side. Instead, Natalie's face hardened, her eyes avoiding his. "I need time to process this," she said, her voice flat. 2 mornings later, Caleb woke to silence. Natalie was gone. So was their savings account of recent of the $45,000 they'd built together. A text lit up his phone. "I can't do this, Caleb. I'm not built for it." Attached was a screenshot of their emptied account and a photo of Natalie in a Seattle cafe, her smile carefree, as if she'd shed a burden. The betrayal could have crushed him. Anger or grief might have consumed most, but Caleb chose a different path. He typed a simple reply, "Be safe," opened a cold beer, and sat on his porch, watching the sun sink behind the Boise foothills. In that quiet moment, Caleb made a vow. This would not break him. Natalie's abandonment was a deep cut, but cancer was the true enemy, and he'd face it with every fiber of his being. This wasn't just about survival. It was about proving that no storm could dim his light. The next day, Caleb's neighbors, Jack and Emily, noticed Natalie's car missing from the driveway. They didn't probe, but arrived with a steaming dish of shepherd's pie and a promise to be there. "You've got us, Caleb," Emily said, her voice warm. Their gesture was a lifeline, a reminder that kindness could fill the void Natalie left. Caleb thanked them, then called his uncle, Frank, a retired financial advisor with a sharp mind for navigating crises. Frank was blunt. "Natalie's gone, and she took your money. We need to lock down what's left: your house, your Mustang, your future." They spent hours reviewing Caleb's finances, updating his will, and freezing his credit to prevent further damage. Caleb's decision to keep the Mustang's title in his name alone proved a small but crucial win. Natalie couldn't touch it. As Caleb braced for chemotherapy, he reflected on his marriage. He and Natalie had met in 2013 at a Boise State tailgate, bonding over their love of classic cars and small-town roots. The early years were blissful weekend drives to McCall, sketching sessions by the Boise River, dreams of a shared future. But Natalie's ambitions shifted. She began dismissing Caleb's welding career as blue-collar, her sketches replaced by mood boards of Seattle high-rises and artisanal markets. She'd sigh when he talked about restoring cars, her comments laced with disdain for their small life. Caleb had blamed himself, thinking he wasn't enough. Now he saw the truth. Natalie's love had been tethered to her own desires, and those desires had outgrown him. Chemotherapy began in March, a brutal regimen of infusions that left Caleb nauseated, exhausted, and bald. He faced it alone, keeping Natalie's betrayal private to avoid pity. After treatments, he'd retreat to his garage, wrench in hand, working on the Mustang to feel human again. The car became his sanctuary, its polished curves a symbol of what he could still control. But the solitude weighed heavily. Nights were long, haunted by Natalie's text, and the question of how love could vanish so swiftly. Then his younger sister, Lily, arrived. A physical therapist from Coeur d'Alene, Lily had heard rumors through friends and drove 5 hours to confront him. "Why didn't you tell me?" she asked, her voice breaking. Caleb shrugged, but Lily refused to let him withdraw. She took a leave of absence, moving into his spare room to cook hearty meals, drive him to appointments, and fill the house with her relentless optimism. Through Lily, Caleb uncovered the depth of Natalie's actions. Bank records revealed Natalie had withdrawn the $45,000 within hours of his diagnosis call, funneling $38,000 to her cousin in Seattle, likely to conceal it. The revelation stung, but Caleb turned pain into purpose. He hired a lawyer, Sarah, a tenacious divorce attorney recommended by Frank. Sarah was a force, gathering evidence with precision: Natalie's text, bank statements, even Jack's account of seeing Natalie pack her car under cover of night. "She abandoned you during a life-threatening illness and stole your savings," Sarah said. "We're building a case for justice, not just divorce." In May, Natalie resurfaced, emailing Caleb to demand a divorce and half the house's value, $980,000, per its recent appraisal. She made no mention of the stolen savings, as if her slate was clean. Caleb didn't reply. Sarah advised against it, warning it could weaken their strategy. Instead, Caleb got strategic. Knowing Natalie's lawyer would track his moves, he planted false information through mutual acquaintances, suggesting he was selling a fictional lakefront lot and liquidating his 401k. Natalie's lawyer pounced, filing claims for these assets, which Sarah swiftly dismantled, exposing Natalie's overreach and eroding her credibility. The legal battle intensified through the summer. Caleb's evidence was airtight. Texts, financial records, Lily's testimony about his physical and emotional toll, and even a hospital social worker's notes on his isolation post, abandonment. Sarah argued that Natalie's actions constituted desertion and financial abuse, barring her from alimony or property rights. In August, the judge ruled decisively. Natalie was ordered to repay the $45,000, relinquish any claim to the house, and cover Caleb's legal fees, $15,000. Her cousin was compelled to return the $38,000, leaving Natalie with nothing but the consequences of her choices. By September, Caleb's cancer was in remission. The chemotherapy had worked, though it left his body weakened. His spirit, however, was unbreakable. He sold the Boise house for $175,000, cleared his medical debts, and relocated to Missoula, Montana, a place he'd long admired for its rugged landscapes and vibrant community. With his savings restored and a new role as a welding instructor at a technical college, Caleb rebuilt his life. He kept the Mustang, its engine's growl echoing through Montana's mountain roads, a testament to his endurance. He joined a local car club, forged new friendships, and began volunteering at a youth center, teaching welding to teens as a path to self-reliance. Caleb's journey is a masterclass in resilience. He could have surrendered to bitterness or defeat, but he chose to build a fortress of calm, strategy, and hope. Jack and Emily's shepherd's pie, Lily's fierce devotion, Frank's financial acumen, and Sarah's legal prowess were pillars of support, but Caleb was the architect. He didn't just reclaim his money or health, he reclaimed his purpose, proving that no betrayal or illness can define a soul determined to rise. This is the truth you must embrace. Life will hurl challenges that threaten to break you. But you are not your scars. You are the flame that burns brighter for them. Caleb's Mustang still roars because he refused to let it rust. What's your Mustang? What's the dream, the fight, the spark you'll defend at all costs? Find it. Guard it. Let it carry you to a future you never dared imagine. Caleb did. And so can you.